Hey, welcome to the United We Scan podcast. Just a quick disclaimer here that any of the views and opinions expressed by the individuals are not that of the USPS or the NRLCA. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and if you are in need of any assistance, please contact your designated union representative. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 134. I'm going to kind of call this take two because, well, we were all ready to go Sunday, and then I had a bit of an emergency with Ruby. Don't worry, she's fine. She just messed up her knee again and has an ortho appointment Friday. I am back from Italy, and we do have a guest with us tonight. My buddy that spent the week I spent the week in Italy with, and yeah, she's still talking to me. So
I could say the same thing.
right. Well, we'll talk a little bit about our trip too while we're on here, but I think we're gonna dive in. One of the main reasons she's on here tonight is she's been driving an NGDV since July.
Yeah, I think it was late July.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of do a dive on the different postal vehicles that we all have experience with, and Lynette can talk a little bit about the NGDV for us. So that'll be kind of cool. And I know we got some other stuff to we're gonna touch on briefly, quickly, and whatnot. But other than that, I know it's been a couple weeks, but I wasn't gonna let everybody go without a full another week. So I said, hey, let's see if we can do this Tuesday. Ruby's over here giving me the woot woot. So,
Hey guys.
Hi,
but yeah. So
feel better
how?
soon.
Yeah, she's getting there. How was the past couple weeks for you, Josh?
Oh, I'm still playing truck roulette. So on my O-log, I'm only at about 18 hours right now.
Only.
Granted,
Only.
I did have 6.5 before the truck roulette started. So,
Fun,
and
fun.
oh
That is
yeah,
not
and then
fun.
the one truck that they did give me that said this one's yours, kept stalling. That was Friday, kept stalling out. Saturday kept stalling out. So I wrote it up. The mechanic worked on it for like 2-3 hours on Monday. I got out a third of the way through the route and it stalled and would not crank back up. Rode it, got towed in, rode it, they called it back in. He had replaced all the ignition hardware Monday. Tuesday, it stalled out at the stop sign just before the turn where it stalled the day before. Got it towed back in, and this time he replaced all the sensors. At this point, he says it either needs an engine because it's overheating at that 4 hour mark and cuts off, or or the computer. So we'll see what happens. And they gave me a truck one up that said, "Oh, we'll reassign this one to you." That was a Wednesday. I'm off Thursdays, and I wrote it up because the auxiliary fan wasn't not all. And one of my coworkers called me Thursday morning saying, "Hey, where are the keys to that truck?" I'm like, "I wrote it up for the fan, and I haven't seen the keys to that one back since." So, oh, it is an LLV fender. So yeah, but I'm gonna have since I'm on a Friday Saturday rotation for my K days. I will have a 4 day weekend this weekend because on top of all that, my car decided to call it quits after 15 years and 273,000 miles.
Yeah.
I'm being told it. Well, they're like, well, there's two code. It wouldn't start Friday morning, so I had it into a shop, and they told me it just needed the battery. But the symptoms are not didn't sound battery related when I wouldn't start. And I'm like, did you test the alternator? They said, yeah, it tested fine. The battery wasn't passing the load test. Okay, fine. Put the battery in it. Saturday, my wife got her sister to drop her off on her way out of town. She gets in it. It starts shimmying, shaking. She gets about a block down, and the engine light came on. And they threw a couple of codes that by themselves is, you know, not so much, but the two codes combined potentially means it needs a transmission. but they're like, you can try this first or that, the one or both of these things to see if that resolves it. So for my anniversary this weekend coming, I'm getting an entertainment. Yay
Yeah.
me!
Yeah, I know how that goes.
How about you, Meow? How was your week?
I know about them vehicle troubles, I guess. But I didn't really
No,
have
you
the vehicle
do.
troubles. Yeah, because I just got a new car, and I don't enjoy the car payment. But um, so last week, what was it? Oh, it was the day after Columbus Day. The Saturday before that, we're a state that they send out the
Ballots.
ballots to each person in my state. So the Saturday before Columbus Day, I had about 3,500 pieces of DPS because it was ballots. And then on top of we start getting all that seasonal mail for Christmas. And then we were beginning to get the Prime Day parcel, so it was a little crazy. And then we were off for Columbus Day, and then the Tuesday after, my 45K that used to be a 46K that went down had 4,500 pieces of DPS plus all of the Prime Day stuff. And so working on that day, knowing I was going to make less money, was kind of frustrating. But in all honesty, I mean, I have the radar reports, and that was the highest DPS totals that I've had for about 2 years. So, 4,500 pieces. So it was kind of crazy, and then it's just been kind of cleanup since then. I was off today. My kid's been off from school, so I've been home with him. And what else happened? We had my district meeting. That was fun. And we had like one new first timer there. So that was really cool. And yeah, just been trying to enjoy fall and Halloween. 'Cause this is like my favorite time of year. So I try to enjoy it, but it doesn't always end up that way.
Oh
So
yeah, we had
Kristen,
our.
or no, oh, we have Lynette. Let's ask Lynette.
How
I
my
would
week
say
How
we
was
was?
your
had our
week?
pub.
Yeah.
Um, Last Monday is when we flew home from Italy. What a day that was.
Oh my, that was a day.
Being over, being over in Italy, we went all day, a lot of walking, like every day over there. And the plane took off at 7 p.m. Eight, 8.5 hour flight, but we landed here at 10 p.m. in New York City, which is 4 hours from my house. So after being up all day, land at 10, we had to get to my car, get out of the airport, get to my car, get something to eat. By the time we got back to my house, it was close to, I don't know, 3:30, 4 a.m.,
Yeah, it's
which was
3:30.
fine. But um, my mom lives with me. She's 84. She had an appointment at 7 a.m., about 45 minutes
Oh,
away. So
oh,
I set my
wow.
alarm for 2 hours, got up and took my mom. She had an appointment for a lung. She's got asthma and breathing issues now, but we were at her appointments till probably 10:30, 11. Then I get back home and I had to take Kristen to the airport at noon. So I still couldn't sleep. So I took Kristen to the airport and then to fly back to Michigan. And I'm like, hey, I might as well try to stay up as a little bit longer. I get home and I took my dogs to the dog park. I don't know. I finally slept, and then it was hard to get back on track though. I kept waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning because 4 o'clock in the morning here is 10 a.m. in Italy.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I can't sleep later than that. Anyway, I don't know. I came back to work. I went back to delivering mail Thursday. It wasn't bad. My my sub takes good care of my route. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday I was off. Yesterday I worked, but my regular day off is Tuesday because SNDC, which is fine because I don't have to use my sick time because I make my mom's appointments always on Tuesdays. So today,
Right.
my day off, she had another appointment at 10, and So that took like 4 hours of my day, which is fine. But that's all. How about you, Kristen?
Well, when I finally got home on Tuesday night about 9 o'clock p.m., because it's a 3.5 hour drive from Detroit to my house, and I had already planned on Wednesday off, but my plantar fasciitis flared up 2 days before we left for Italy.
Oh,
and
ow.
So I made sure I took some Aleve with me and some KT tape, and I huffed it out. We averaged between one day. I think the least bit we walked was 7 miles. I think we did 15 miles on the most. So we averaged about between 7 to 10 miles a day walking. And so my left heel is still in pain, but I could hardly walk. So I decided Wednesday, I was like, screw this. I'm not going to go back to work till Monday. So I got on light blue, went at ELRA about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, put in for 2 days of sick leave, and said, yeah. So I went back to work Monday. And
Yeah.
I had to clean up. I wasn't too happy. I knew I was going to have some cleanup. I mean, that's expected. I was gone for 2 full weeks. I expected to clean up a little bit. I was not expecting to walk into what I walked into. So, needless to say, my temperament at work has not been the greatest the last 2 days.
Our calves are,
I'm just
my
pleasantly
goodness,
surprised
my
when I
calves. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Jeff.
was it. I'm just pleasantly surprised when I don't walk into what you walked into, and that's after one day, let
Yeah,
alone a week or two.
I walked in yesterday to a nice hefty stack of rubber banded bundles of DPS stacked up, so I instantly went and grabbed the yardstick and measured that shit. And I'm like, oh, 6 inches, huh? Don't know where it came from, no notes, no nothing, had no clue. Supervisor's nowhere to be found. Postmaster supposedly is gone this week. Supervisor's hiding in the postmaster's office. 204B, they're running around. It's Monday. Okay, I get it. I'll notate it on the 4240. I'll say something when I get back. I'll just get the shit done. Said something to the
When I
204B.
came,
What?
I would say I was off Thursday and Friday this week because of the car not starting. So I'm off Thursdays for FMLA, and I called out Friday because of the car. On Saturday when I came back, underneath all of the piles of letters was the bundle with the 1571 that I had from blocked boxes on Wednesday. So I know they didn't case or carry any of the raw mail Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
They just kind of piled everything on top.
So, I get back yesterday. I had a full tub of mail that I brought back. Was not happy about it. My sub, who was running the other route that he used to be a primary on Monday, got back just before I did. So as he's walking as he's walking across the back of the dock to go back into the building, I pull out the tub of mail and I look at him and I said, I say pay attention to forwards for a reason. Pay attention to the forwards. Yeah, that whole tub of mail for the most part was all forwards that was delivered, including 2 packages, and the majority of it was forwards from last month. 45 minutes to clean everything up, including all the PARS labels, because nothing was done. The case hadn't been notated with forwards. In fact, half the holds hadn't even been marked properly in the case. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I played a lot of cleanup. Today, I was paying attention to the boxes that were on holds and collected a few of those. And yeah, it's was more than I thought I was going to walk into. But yeah, I took it up with the sub, and then the supervisor was floating around when I got back this afternoon because it was Tuesday, so I was actually back by what was that, 2:30, something like that, 2:45. I don't remember. Anyways, so I said I already talked to him, so don't worry about that. I addressed it with him. I said, but this is ridiculous. But I brought up the whole 6 inches of mail, and I got, well, I'll have to see what that was. And either way, I want to get paid for it because I was not expecting to walk into 6 inches of frickin' DPS at my case. I can handle some small piles of mail because I don't know what's going on. These guys are forwarded, and this is a different name. I can handle that stuff. But if supposedly the 204B was telling me it was DPS that was missorted into other routes DPS, and I was like, well, somebody could have at least left a post-it note or something there telling me what this mess was. Said I'm not happy about it and I want paid for it. So hopefully tomorrow I'll figure out what she's going to do. Either do the piece count calculation on the 6 inches or pay me the straight 81.27 time for doing it. And if you're not going to do either, well, then I'm going to grieve it because that is total BS because I was gone for 2 freaking weeks. And then I had words with my
Okay.
clerk this morning because, again, same 4 pieces of mail that goes to a city route that I threw back into the throwback case that she had in the hot case for me yesterday was, again, in the hot case today. So I walked over to her and I said, "What route is this business on?" She's like, your route? I said, "No. Because, number one, that business is across the street from the post office. The CBU for that business is literally at the tail end of the drive to come in the back drive of the post office. That obviously is City 5, not Rural Route 3. Well, I made mistakes. I can't say it won't happen again." I said, "Pay better attention." And I walked away. I've been on a tiff. I'm over it. I am so over it. I am over people that don't pay attention to their jobs. Something as simple as just because the name of the business is the township that I mainly deliver in does not necessarily mean that that's my business. That's city. Obviously, do you even know where that business is located? Okay, it's right there. You pass it every day when you pull into the driveway. But yeah, so yeah, it's been interesting couple days back for sure. But Italy was awesome, was it not, Lynn?
Yeah, it was. The top of my foot killed for days, and right when it started feeling better, I went to work on Monday. One of the subs come up to me. She's super sweet, young girl. She's like, I used your truck on Sunday, and I left my cart in there. Can you bring it back in when you get back? So I told her I'd bring it back in after I loaded, and I loaded my truck up, brought that um like wheelie cart back in, and I went to set it at the case where she was working, and it dropped right on top of my foot. That hurt. Oh my God, it hurts. It's all right though. It's getting better again. Trucks. Want to talk about trucks now?
Do we want to talk about the trucks, or we want to address the social media rumor mill real
Let's-
quick?
Yeah, we could do the social media rumor mill really quick.
Yeah, go for that one, Meow, because this
Okay.
we were laughing about this earlier. Like, oh, we gotta mention it.
I'm not
So
sure I
there,
know what you guys are talking about.
No, probably not.
You'll
So
But
find
you
out.
will. You will.
so in a couple of the Facebook groups, there's people saying that there is RXV or asking questions about it, or has anyone heard of the new RXV they're coming out with? And it's just kind of taken wildfire and created uncertainty. And RXV or RX5 just refers to which RX evaluation we are currently in. We have had 5 different RX evaluations since it's taken place. What was the first one? Was in April, May of 2023. And then we
Yeah.
had another one that was RX1. And then RX2 was October of that year. RX3 was like April of 2024. RX4. Oh, no. Yeah. Wait, was that? Am I
I
correct?
think it was
in that?
it was the
started in
fall of 2022. It was supposed to start in the
Okay.
spring and then it got delayed, put on hold.
And pushed back.
Yep.
So, anyways, regardless, yeah. So we're on it's if you ever hear like RX and then a number, it's just referring to which RX evaluation we are in. It doesn't mean that they've come out with some blanket new system that you need to learn. The other part of that rumor, though, is just make sure that you're doing your scans when you're supposed to be doing them, and make sure you're doing your mapping. And that's all you can do. Like that's what RX is designed to do. Just do the right thing, and you got nothing to worry about there. Hopefully. So if you see people online spreading this rumor about it, until I hear it from the post office or I hear it from the union, don't there's people who've been Googling like AI, Google summaries about RXV. It's not some V for Vendetta, RX Vendetta, or RX Vengeance. I don't know. It's it's crazy. It's nothing's changing there. Just do the right thing, do your scans, deliver how you normally deliver, and you should be good. So that's that.
Yeah, there's. I know, I saw it too, and I'm like, oh my word. This
Yeah,
is
and somebody said the
crazy.
benchmarking. Yeah, the benchmarking. And granted, yes, they shouldn't be benchmarking, but I mean, there's two ends of the spectrum of this too. There's going to be um the outliers of people who are just sitting there and entering like 20 WSS flags
Okay.
in one day. That's insane. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody deliver 20 full coverages in one day, you know? So there's things like that. And then there's other people, who, you might have, like, let's say you had a carrier pickup, right? And you picked up a lot one day, like Christmas is coming. And, one of the days maybe you picked up 200 parcels and you never normally do that. And it might show up on a report. And if management asks you about it, just be like, look, I had that many parcels. Like, you can see it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see me at that business. You'll see my breadcrumbs there. Like, so if you're doing the right thing, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Is the bottom line with it. And if management, wants to harass you, or if there's issues along those lines because you are doing the right thing and management's harassing you over it, then you need to call your steward.
Absolutely.
And maybe
And
you need to file a grievance over it.
that fire report or benchmarking report, as some people will call it, is just in the last 13 weeks. This one particular item is unusually high compared to your average time that you've done that. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just that it shows up as being excessively high compared to what you've been doing.
Yeah, which, I mean, given the time of the year it is, you know what? That may very well be the case. Because,
Right.
you may not have as many going through, and then all of a sudden, bam, you get slammed one day with package pickups and,
Yep.
authorized
Yep.
dismounts or whatever that you normally don't have. And I think, I mean, with all my CBUs, I mean, I only have 13 key turns, and I actually only have 2 locations I actually have to dismount for. So for me to have an actual authorized dismount, even with all my hardships, it's rare. I can count on one hand how many times I've had to use the authorized dismount button for my route. And that's
Yeah.
since Rex has started. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff is going to say something that's out of the abnormal. And
Yeah, I mean, like last Tuesday, I mean, I had 64 that I entered, which, because I had 4,500 pieces of DPS, and I had more ballots in there. It was thick DPS because of the ballots. I'm carrying, like, with both my hands, trying to carry all this mail to these CBUs. And so I already knew, I was like, that's going to show up, but it is what it is. Like, you could see my breadcrumbs there moving in circles from the truck to the CBU. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's going to be
Right.
what it'll be.
Yep, exactly. So, don't stress over it. Rex 5 is the current evaluation. We're in the 5th Rex evaluation. It's no version 5. It's nothing anybody needs to pull their hair out about.
RX Terminators. I'm gonna make like a V for Vendetta, like
yeah.
RX-5.
Yeah, exactly. Coming to theaters soon.
Yeah.
So this is a little segment that we're about to get into that I know we have wanted to do. We've talked about it in the past, and that's just talking about the different vehicles that we use on our rural routes. And now that my dear friend Lynette is available this evening, she drives an NGDV, so she can talk about that experience since she's been driving one for about 3 months now. And I know I have LLV and lots of POV experience. Meow, you have a Metris?
Yes, I have a Metris and I used to have a POV route. So,
Okay.
and I've delivered in my car, my non right hand drive car.
Oh, been there, done that too. Trust me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've done both LLB and FFB.
Yeah. And I know Lynette's done
I've
LLV as well
I've done
as Metris
oh,
and NGDV, so she can kind of compare the three. Did you drive POV in the past though too when you first
I
started?
did the first
Oh
5 years.
wow, she's
I
got the
sat
whole
in the middle of the
spectrum.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, not FFB.
yeah, but yeah, you've
I
got
never used
4 out
FFB.
of the 5. So
I
Yeah.
don't like the
Hey,
RVs.
feel lucky.
You don't like the
You have
FFB,
to pull
Courtney?
down.
Uh-uh.
Oh,
No, no,
I
they've got
love my Metris though.
they have the power and the torque, but there's the design is not ergonomic for a carrier.
yeah, see,
oh,
Because with the LLB, where you have the space right next to you that you can put a tray or something with your flats or spurs,
yeah.
it's got the hump with the e-brake right there, which means all that space underneath the mail tray is pretty much dead.
yeah, and see when they took my truck down to VMF for a new engine, which I still haven't gotten back yet. And that was in June when that happened. So they eventually I was playing the LLV roulette at the time, and when VMF finally found a vehicle to bring up, they brought an FFV. And even my postmaster looked at it and went, nope, that's going to go on the Ox route for now because there is no way her route is going to fit in an FFV. So,
Oh,
I,
it'll fit because it has a little bit more square footage than an LLB.
yeah, but
It's just not practical to work out of unless you specifically are pulling down for that vehicle.
yeah.
And working out of an LLB for so many years,
Yep.
it is hard to train yourself to switch.
Yep. So, I drove POV when I first started. I went through several of them as an RCA. It happens because I personally drove beaters. My very first POV was a 2002 Ford Explorer Sport 2-door. And actually, it worked out quite well for me. This was pre Amazon days, so it was a lot of mail, not a lot of packages, and it worked out. It was my ex's vehicle, so when it took a crap and was no longer roadworthy, I ended up with a 99 Chevy Blazer 4-door, which quite similar for setup wise for me. And I never had pedals in a car. I always drove from the passenger seat straddled. I had that one for a little bit, and then like I said, I drove junkers. Honestly, the best POV I ever had was I got a 93 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. It was given to me. It was my great aunt's, and that one lasted me almost 5 years. And it was actually my daily driver as well when I transferred offices. And the only reason I gave it up was because the timing went on it, and what to me wasn't worth dumping that extra money. I'd put fuel pump in it. I did a lot of work to that car, honestly. And that was probably my best POV that I had. The bench seat was perfect. I didn't have to sit in the middle. I replaced that one with a '03 Buick LeSabre, so a little bit wider, had to sit closer to the middle. Again, I loved my bench seats. Again, it was
bench seats work the best.
they do. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
again, it was a
Yeah.
$1,200 beater. I had put $1,200 into it, and then I got a bad rod knock and ended up on the Ox route, which had an LLV. I kept my POV around until I went full time on my LLV route. So I've been driving an LLV full time for the last 3 years. And I don't mind the LLV in general for fitting stuff. Again, I have a route that most days it's convenient. I can pack that sucker to the brim, and I do at times. Sometimes maybe overpack it, but it works for
As long
my
as all the
route.
doors close.
Yep, as long as the doors close, I can see out my mirrors. Nothing's gonna become flying through, whatever. It works for what it does. My biggest issues are, again, the heat and obviously no AC. I mean, we deal with it. We know what we got to do when it comes to that. I've been through installing pedals when Ruby had her short stint as an RCA and we had to get pedals put in. By the way, if anybody needs some Pedal Pros pedals, please reach out to me. I have a set that was only used 6 times before they were taken back out. But on that note, I get why, the LLV practical for most people. I personally don't have a huge issue with it. I miss my truck because now I'm using Route 2's truck. Route 2 has the Ox assigned truck, and the Ox Route has the FFV that they brought up. When mine's going to come back, if it comes back, I don't know. But anyways, so yes, LLVs, rear-wheel drive, that's what biggest thing that sucks in the winter. I know in Michigan we cannot run chains. My old postmaster at my first office took, carrier safety first and foremost. So he had all the LLVs there with studded tires. He was one of those that do first, ask for forgiveness later, went to bat for us when it came to district over safety. That was great. If they can do that. Michigan, we can't run chains, rear wheel drive. Whoa, sorry about that. I actually hit my mic while I was talking. But I talk with my hands, and so my microphone got in the way. Sorry. But it's like crash. Oops.
Damn, Mike.
Even when I'm sitting here by myself, I still talk with my hands. So, anyways, where I used to live was the snow belt. I mean, it was nothing to get 18 inches of snow overnight if we had lake effect come in. Where I'm at now, a little bit south and further east, about 2 hours right along Lake Huron, we don't get the snow that I had gotten there, but we get a lot more ice. And LLVs stuck on ice. I've known carriers that overweight them in the winter and carriers that underweight them in the winter. I think I found my way that just weights it just right for now. But, it's and that's the nice thing about having a government vehicle. If it breaks down, the post office has to take care of that. Unlike a POV, if you break down and you cannot get back on your route within a reasonable time and get it fixed, as in, plugging a tire, changing a tire, something minor. I mean, I've done roadside repairs. I've been underneath that old Explorer Sport with mail straps, rehanging a muffler in the pouring rain because it was dragging on the ground. We do
I
what we
feel
got.
that.
Yes. We've all done car repairs on the side of a road in a POV when you're a POV driver. I mean, my one
Yep.
POV in my route, he's got a 2017 right-hand drive Jeep. He bought it used and he's been running it nearly 6 days a week, every week for the last 3 years since he took that route over. So that there's days where, it breaks out on the route. He can't get it back going. Well, now management's on him, and he's got to use an annual day because he's got to get his car fixed.
Yep.
Downfalls of POVs. Now they're on him because of his second trips and coming out and checking his loading. He's like, no, I am not going to box this sucker in. Number one, LLVs have all those mirrors. So when the mirrors are positioned properly, you can see just about all around that vehicle. Yes, it does have blind spots. I'm well aware of it, trust me. Short person, side view mirror. Sometimes I don't see that traffic coming right away when I'm waiting to turn. But, he's like, no, I'm not going to stack it up to the ceiling because number one, when I have to hit the brakes, that sucker's going to come flying and hit me in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't see out your windows with your mirrors. I remember loading my car at my old office, and there's Academy at that office, and the Academy instructor had the new RCAs out there while we were loading, and he looks at my car as I'm loading. He looks at this group of RCAs, and he said, "That is not how you load." I had stuff crammed up in the back window. I mean, it was I was the poster child on how not to load a vehicle that day, which, is fine. But, LLVs can be practical. Some people hate them. Some people love them. That's like with any vehicle. That is my experience, primarily POV and LLV. Again, the perks, I can usually fit most of the stuff in the LLV. Downfalls are obviously heat in the winter, and rear-wheel drive in the winter sucks, especially on icy conditions. We're not allowed chains in my area in Michigan, so no chains for any of that. We're, sandbags, and if I have to break them open so I can get some traction to get out of somebody's driveway, been there, done that. It sucks at times. So, yes.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
I'll tell you what.
We have one
I've been
Metris
in a truck.
we have one mattress in our fleet, and that got assigned to the city route that has all the walking.
I've been in a LLV with that they put chains on once, and that was one times too many.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know how many times I've ridden LLVs with chains. I can
They won't.
preach
They
to
won't
that.
let us have them either.
They won't let us have them anymore because they were because you can only go like 15 to 20 miles an hour, and people were going
If you're
30, and then
lucky.
they'd bust off, and well, you can, but they would bust off, and then they would wrap around the axle, and it's the worst sound in the world, and you
Oh,
just hear
jeez.
like it's
I,
just
all right, Josh. So, what is your pros and cons between an LLV and an FFV?
Okay. As I mentioned, the FFV does have slightly more square footage to it. However, they are narrower and longer in the back for the cargo area. The scent with the LLV, it's open in right next to the seat, the driver's seat, so you could potentially get up and walk to the back, or put a tray with your smalls or your smalls right next to your seat on the ground. You also have the slot, depending on what brackets they use to put the mail tray in. You can put 1 to 3 tubs or trays. With the FFV, that space right next to you, where with the LLV, it has the emergency brake, the handbrake is up next to the steering column, and you pull it or push it back to release it. That is with the FFV, it's a hump with the e-brake right in the middle there. So you lose that space there. From under the mail tray, it is completely under there. So you could stuff stuff under, but you can't reach it from the seat. So it works for me at my condos, which I work from the left side of the vehicle anyway. And then I pull the parcels up and organize them to drive around the neighborhood, deliver them to the door because I don't have parcel lockers there. But other than that, that's all wasted space. Where the LLV, the front and the back are level, the cargo area in the FFV is dropped down some. I know some people that I used to work with that had FFVs would take 3 to 6 empty tubs and turn them upside down and push all the way, 3 across and push them all the way to the front. That would put it about the mail tray and the side of the ledge in the back there, and that way you can stack across. And that way, if you have like a mail tray, like with your flats or spurs, it doesn't slide underneath the mail tray into that wasted space that you can't get to, and then you'd have to get out and walk around and pick it back up and put them back in order. The FFVs have a lot more power and torque to them. So they'll get me on the straightaway, but all 4 wheels are in line. Where the LLV, the front wheels are about 6 inches on each side in, so you have a tighter turning radius. So I'll catch that time up in the cul-de-sac and on U-turn. And I did have a POV-ish sort of when I was in RCA, just in case I had to give auxiliary assistance on a route. I had a Pontiac Aztec, which you are straddling, but that center console is flat, actually pulls out as a cooler, so it's flat and level with the seats, with the 2 front seats. You just had to put a little, a thin, like, pillow or cushion on it. Otherwise, you were sore down, in your backside for a while until those muscles decided to finally relax again.
Meow. You
Trust me,
have.
learned that one the hard way.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have too.
I have straddled a 2002 Malibu. Thank God that one had a sunroof in the summertime. It was a backup and the back seats laid down, so I made it work when I had to. And then my 2018 Jeep Compass that I had, that was never fun. One butt cheek and a cup holder and the other one on the seat. Yeah, I don't recommend straddling those if you don't have to.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a buddy who removed the center console and built a small, out of 1x4s, a little, just nailed together a little so, to fit in the space there, so it was level with the seats. And then he just put a cushion across. So he lost his console, but that wasn't, he's like, my rear comfort is much more important than having somewhere to put useless papers that I'm going to look at.
Meow. What is your pros and cons on a mattress?
Well, I'm gonna go back to POV too,
Sure, go ahead.
because I still do, I miss my POV, but
No.
I don't miss the maintenance and the money I sunk into it. So when I first started, my office was, I think we had 15 POV routes between the two stations. And there was one guy, he had started like in the 80s, and he had 3 POVs that he would interchange parts with to like keep one running, because his route went 92 miles a day. And then like to the point where I do kind, like, I learned a lot from him because of these things, but he had like a 1993 Cherokee, or it was 1990 in the early 90s Cherokee, and the fuel pump is like in the back, and so instead of him having to like drop it down from the back, he cut a hole in his vehicle so that each time it would go out, he could just replace it and not have to spend all that labor to like do it, because he just worked on it himself. But when I first got the job, they told me I wasn't going to be on those routes as much, but that was a lie. And so I had and I still have it, but it's dead now, a 2012 Chevy Cruze with a center console. And the second route I ever had to do was a POV route, curbside, not key boxes. And I had this one lady who, long story short, she's transferred to Georgia now, and I'll never ever forget her. She showed me how to straddle the console, and like to put pillows, and like where you should put like a tray for outgoing mail, and like your soup stuff that you can't deliver, and like where to position your trays. And one of the good things too that I was shown is like some people, if you're doing it in a POV and it's not right hand drive, they'll use like the half trays, those little smaller ones, and then you can stack those up so it's a little easier for you to straddle. And then my office ended up investing in getting us the big grabbers. So I had in my car, I had like this grabber that that I bought from like Walgreens, and then my manager ended up getting me a different one, but that I like rubber banded, and I don't know, you make things work with what you got.
Yes.
And then I eventually, another one of my coworkers, she had a 1993 Jeep Cherokee, and I would borrow it from her, and she ended up just selling it to me. And so I went regular on a POV route, and nobody else wanted it, but I loved it. And I would go like it was like 70 miles, I think then, 65 to 70 miles. And what I strong, like, advice for this, you take it or leave it. I know that we get paid EMA, but EMA shouldn't be considered a part of your salary. And so what I would do was, when I would get my paycheck, I had 2 checking accounts, and I would take the EMA portion of my check and I would just immediately transfer it over to a checking account, and I would use that card for that checking account, kind of like a gas card, for my route. And then whatever I had left at the end, like before the next paycheck, I would move to my savings account, and then that was the money that I used to maintain the vehicle or get tires or get the brakes changed. Because when you're going 70 miles a day, 6 days a week, 5-6 days a week, you're going to burn them out. So I miss it. And I actually almost bought a right-hand drive hearse. I had put money down, but eventually, like, I got pregnant and I kept breaking down on my route. And so I was like, I can't go into labor like 40 minutes from the hospital. And just the anxiety of that, you know. So I eventually bit off, and I bit off onto an LOV route. And the LOVs, my primary guy that I trained with, my first training day, I'm sitting in the jump seat in the back. He has the brake pedal falls off. And I watched him just take it and go, "Oh, don't look at this." But he takes it and he puts it back on, and he takes like a paper clip and some rubber bands and like puts it back on to like hold for the day. And then he's like, "Oh, I'll have to write it up when I get back." And that's my real initial view of an LOV. When I did my LOV training, I did it in the snow, so at least I got that over with immediately. But even if you're on a hill, like, and you're on like a little chunk of ice, you're gonna slide, even with that e-brake. So just make sure that you're testing that e-brake. But I would also, I know, like, I feel like I'm a visual person, and like we know how to Tetris how we place our vehicles, especially when you have so many parcels, and like a lot of our job is just putting puzzle pieces back together, but they're different puzzle pieces, if that makes sense. And I used to use that side wheel well door, or I call it like the dead zone. And I would put like my carrier pickups over there so I wouldn't have to look at them, or they wouldn't like roll around. Or if like I'd put the stuff that I was going to take out like first over there. But that's just, there's that. But then I bit to another route, and they eventually gave it Mercedes Metris. Now I've seen 3 different kinds of Metrises. The first initial round, those ones weren't great, but they were okay. But I think mine's like either the second or the third round. And what's cool about them, I mean, they have the radio and the speakers and everything that are in there. But my absolute favorite thing about it is that I can open all the doors on each side of the vehicle and load to like each section of my route. Personally, I think that they work best on like your half curbside, half key box routes, so that you at least can you can load your curbside up front, and then you can put like in the side door your key boxes. Or if you have like large stops, you can put them in the back, which is what I do. I have like the trays that fold up and down. I know a lot of people don't like, they're worried about them in the snow, which, I mean, there's some times where, yeah, like it's rough, but there is ways on mine that you can like downshift it into another gear and put it like in a manual mode and get yourself out of like those stupid ice situations. One thing that my old regular taught me when I was in an LOV, he was like, if you ever get stuck, use like, if you have the floor mats that are there, put that under your tires, and that'll help at least get you past that ice chunk. Hopefully. But if so in my Metris, I have like a pair of like old chains, and they don't fit the tires obviously, and I wouldn't put them on, but if I ever get stuck, I usually will load them in there so that I can just lay them down and then get out, you know. What's the other thing? I'm to the point now too where the shifter is in the by the steering wheel. So you're able to like, I don't know why I like that a little bit more. cons of it, I don't like that it doesn't have enough stickers on it so that people know it's a mail truck. But I've seen some people have put on different ones. And then yeah, the shifter, yeah, where the blinker stick, yeah, it's I like that you can change it right there, and then you can move it up and down for that. I enjoy having the AC. I'm like to the point now where like I'll even just have the fan on, like that fan running. Um, I also enjoy that you in the front you can only carry 3 trays up there, but it like enforces that safety to you because if you load it too much, they're all gonna fly over on you, like which is a little different than the LOV because you're only supposed to load 3, but I know people like load them. Trying to think of what else with them. Yeah, and even the heater works really well. Um, Mine has like 65,000 miles on it now, and I think when I got it, it had like 200 miles. So most of those miles have been mine. Um, a lot of people in my office and just even in general think I'm crazy because I actually love my Metris. They get kind of banged up, so that's a little disappointing because I think people still are in that mindset of like the LOVs, like indestructible, you know? But it's like, let's try and take care of this so that it lasts a little longer, you know, and isn't all janky. Trying to think of what else with it. That's a
Yankee, is
weird.
that a technical term?
Yes, yeah, it is a technical term.
I just wanted to make sure.
Or ghetto fabulous too. That's also another, yeah, janky. Yeah, but there's some that I know like they're all dented in the side already, and I'm like, come on, guys, like let's just take care of. This is why we can't have nice things. They're expensive to fix too. Like I was told like by one of the VMF guys like the knobs for the air conditioner and the heater, one of those broke off, like a tray hit it or something, and that knob cost like $500 to fix. And so they ended up
Oh,
getting us like these like cage things that go over them, so it protects them a little bit more. Trying to think of what else. Oh, the other thing I don't like is that I'm kind of excited to hear like Lynette's take on the new vehicles is that the door doesn't just slide flush with the vehicle. So that's like and I'm going to point this out, which is a really weird thing because I've had to explain this to managers before. When I mapped my route, there is some of my curbside boxes that I had to move my park point further up, and I had to dismount to go to their front door because I can't just open the door and walk out because the door will hit the mailbox. So if you're in a Metris or if you're a route that just got a Metris, you're supposed to review your mapping every month, so just kind of keep that in mind. Like if that mailbox, like normally you could just open the door and like run out versus like pulling up a little bit, but so that's kind of crappy. There's one part of my route that there's no there's nothing to like brace the wind, and so my door has like blown open, and so it's also janky now a little bit because of the wind blowing it opened repeatedly. So I think they're gonna
I have a
the
question.
doors of the yeah.
I how are the mattresses when it's raining, like downpouring?
I
Does
think
the
they're
rain come
fine.
in a ton?
Not really because it's
No.
kind of
Okay.
angled. Yeah, I know that there's some people who have bought like that protector, like the LOV. Some of the LOVs have them too, but um, I don't think so because the window for them is so much smaller than even like the LOV window. So
I
it
just
it
asked.
holds its heat pretty well. Yeah,
I was just
I
asking because
remember
one day
when.
I was gonna. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're all good. You're asking because why?
Because I was gonna have to use a mattress one day, and it was downpouring the day before, and I got in the mattress to move it to where I needed to load, and the whole
Yeah.
seat was drenched. It was just like a
Oh.
month ago. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I feel like they retain their heat more too than the LOVs.
hmm
Because I remember like I'll never forget this, and this is like why I pack the way that I do sometimes when it's really cold outside. But it was like -5 degrees out, and I was out delivering in a LOV, and I had to shut that back door, and I took like a bunch of trays and turned them upside down to like insulate myself with the heat up front. And even like though the mattress has like that cage, I mean, I've moved my trays one time when it was like colder, but like the heater kept up with it. And even like what I'll do is I'll move the vent that's near the window, like aim it towards my arm so that it's like drying my arm kind of if it's raining too bad. But I've had hail before too. Or like me and my one coworker, we call them the thick raindrops, where it's not hail but it's like a big
Mm-hmm.
like coming at you. And
Yep.
it was fine. It wasn't too bad. So
Now,
I seriously, I love my mattress. So
All right.
all right.
So
Now,
I'm a,
go ahead.
I'm about to go into an SNDC. It was supposed to be October 18th. They pushed us back to November 15th. Hopefully, maybe,
Lucky you.
possibly, it won't happen until after New Year's. But at some point after New Year's, we're supposed to get these new NDDBs to tell me everything I'm going to like and not like. Please and thank you.
I Some people really don't like them. I like them. Everyone's first thought is they're huge and they're so ugly, but ah, they're so nice. They feel so much safer than the LLV. Um,
You know what? I don't care what it
the
looks like, as long as it gets the
yeah,
job done. You know.
yeah, and there's so much room. The seat is great. The double tray, like I put 2 trays of parcels and then 2 trays of DPS up front with me. The tray underneath, I put 2 DPS trays, one for stuff that out of my DPS and stuff to go back to the office, and then one for my outgoing mail. Um,
Can you easily get to that bottom mail tray, or
yeah, that one moves forward and back too. They both move forward and back, so you can have one
we?
closer or it's nice. It's there's so much stuff on them. Um, there's 6 trays in the back for and they fold up and down. I only use the three. I use I use the 3 lower ones. The ones that are up higher are just too high for me to reach, and I haven't had to use them because there's so much room back there. Um, the camera, you can switch it. It has like a bird's eye view where you can look at the top of the truck and see all the way around it. There is some blind spots though. Um, Another camera, the 360-degree camera, you can change it from front, left, right, rear, whenever. Um,
What's the biggest
if
difference with loading them?
loading, you can't load from the back because they don't want you loading from the back, and it would be like the LLV, you could step up on the bump, like kind of on the bumper to get in. This one, you can't. You have to load from the side door, which brings me to another issue. It's not really an issue, it's just you can't have the door to the back of the truck open at the same time you have the door to where you get in to sit open at the same time.
Yeah,
How's
someone posted
how's
a
the
video on Facebook. I saw that.
how's the turning
Mhm.
radius in them?
It is the same as the LLV, I feel. It turns sharp, like on a dime.
Nice and tight.
What?
I said nice and tight. A nice tight turn radius.
Yeah, yeah. Lights,
You
you can
had
have them set. Go ahead, ask me a
you have
question.
you said you have not been in an FFB before, correct?
I haven't. I've only seen them out the outside of them.
Okay. Well, then I can't ask you how you think it compares on that. The LLB versus that for turn radius. Because am I the only
Yeah.
one that's ever been in an FFB?
no, I've been
Wow.
in FFB.
Oh, okay.
We have like 3 of them in my office.
Okay.
So the
He
POV routes that I used to be on, they all turned them into FFVs.
So one question says, where can I leave my phone when you're in an NGDV?
I usually leave mine in my bag, or I put it on the lower tray underneath. I was just gonna bring up something and I forgot what it was now. It was good too.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I'll blame
They
Kristen,
do
but I'll
they do rattle. I can say they do.
oh yeah,
Yeah, the shelvings do rattle pretty good when you're driving down the road.
the trainer guy before I was driving it, on the regular roads, he's like, wait until you hear it. The back door is, I hope they find something with that back door to get it to be quiet. It's the shelves, and it is pretty loud on the highway, or they rattle. It doesn't matter whether they're folded or they're not. They're loud.
How's the
Um,
wind?
the vibration.
How is it with in a windy situation?
I don't notice anything different, really.
okay. They're pretty sturdy in that aspect.
Yeah, they feel a lot safer. Oh, right above the windshield is huge. Right above the windshield, like I gotta pick myself up out of the driver's seat to reach it, but there's a whole bunch of pen slots, and there's like slots to put like 3849s or whatever papers you need out on the route, 30 hold
Oh,
cards.
nice.
Also, a book. There should be a book up there, like the manual for the vehicle. I've actually looked into that because we got them pretty quick, and some of them had had some issues. Mine has had an issue with the the, the door where I load my mail in to the tray. When I first got
Right.
it, it had an issue. It kept saying the door was not closed, and I had to keep taking it to the VMF, which is right with us at the SMDC.
Yeah, ours will be
They
also.
were quick, yeah, they were quick fixing it and giving it right back to me. And then they had enough, and I don't know what they did, but they fixed it, and it hasn't happened again since. So that's one of the issues. Another issue I had was the windshield wipers were like went off the side and got caught, and then they were moving all weird, and I went to the VMF and they kind of set the windshield wipers back to how they were supposed to be. They still act weird sometimes, but um I did see a video too of somebody doing a whole um like cover of the vehicle, and whoever that was did really well. Who was it? Do you know, Jane or Josh?
I don't know. I just saw someone had made a video on the side of the road of the
Yeah,
vehicle.
I saw a part of it, and he was going over everything.
Yeah, I know. In the one I saw, his number one complaint was dust.
Yeah. The
And
dust really hasn't bothered me much. The issue that I don't like, oh, the two main issues that we have that I hear complaints is the driver door is super heavy, and it is. It slides. It's nice that it slides, but it is very heavy compared to um the LLB. I have to usually use two both my hands to get it, and if you're on a incline, it's really hard to shut the door. But the other issue that is the most bothersome for me is when you shut the truck off, which is a push button like the mattress, and it automatically puts it in park and puts the parking brake on. Um, you can't just open the door. You gotta get the fob and unlock the door. I just it's just I just wish I could shut the truck off and open the door, not have to look for the key fob and unlock it every time.
Yeah, my
Because it's
Metris,
not.
it's key. It has like this um it's like key fob, but it's still like a key thing that it has. But
Yeah,
I was also going to ask you if the lighting in it, have you had to deliver in the dark yet with it?
I haven't. But the lighting is pretty good. There is a light in the back. There's also a fan in the back. I haven't really used it. It's supposed to suck out the heat. The heat and the AC is both great from what I haven't used. I haven't drove it in the snow or really cold yet, but both of those seem to work really well.
Did they give you a pretty in-depth training on it, or was it kind of like from the FFB to LLB to FFB? All right, well, they're basically the same, except here are the differences.
No, they did it really well. We went up we had to drive like an hour and a half away and go to the driver trainers. At first, they
Okay,
were sending us two at a time. But now they did get someone um to probably a month ago or so, they got someone from Binghamton to go up to train to be a trainer. And
right.
she is actually training, she's been training, I don't know how many people per week, but it's been getting done a lot quicker because it's so much easier to just go like 10 minutes away to be trained on the vehicle than drive all the way to an hour and a half away. Um,
Right. Luckily, it'll
yeah.
be all of the driver training, unless they moved it, has been out of where the new SNDC is going to be, because it was a GMF, a General Mail facility,
Yeah.
which the end of last year, they pulled all that equipment out because that's where all the DPS and parcel sorting and flat sorting came from. And that's actually where our FSS machine was at in that building before they got rid of it. So they took all of the mail processing equipment out and are in the process of converting it to an SNDC.
Mhm. I said lucky you, but honestly, I like the SNDC too. I love walking in and everything is just ready. I don't have to wait for more trucks to come, wait for clerks to sort things. It's all just ready. I go in there sometimes, I'm there a half an hour and I'm out on the road because everything's just there, sorted all night. The parcels are sorted all night
Have
or very
Someone
have
just
you
early in the
had
asked.
to
morning,
get
like 4 a.m.
have you had to
Someone
get
just
your
asked other.
vehicle towed before? The new one?
Um,
Or does it have
no,
tow points? Like, because like I
it
know in
does
the
have
Metros
big
it has like
tow.
that bar that screws into it and they can yank it from that bar.
They have big like hitches on the new NGDB to tow it in the back and the front. I think maybe just in the back.
Are they just like permanently on there, or is it like the bar, like the Metris that screws in and it's supposed to like
No, it's
sit?
permanently there in the back, right in the
Oh,
center,
okay.
and you can see it. It's like a big, like a very large door knocker. I would explain it as like a tow thing,
Tow hook, yeah.
circle tow hook.
Now, the
So
scanner dot, does that actually charge your scanner?
Um,
Or don't you
that's
use it?
I can't. I don't ever use it because the few times I have used it, I'm like, why can't I find my scanner? And there it is in the scanner holder. I don't use it. At one time I tried to put it in there and look at because I heard that you could look at package look ahead on the screen, but I really I don't know if this is good or not, but I really don't use that screen. I would rather use my mirrors and my windows. Obviously when I'm backing up, if I have to back up, I use it, but that's it.
Now, I know the AC works lovely because I've heard about that consistently for the last 3 months.
I'm, I'm sorry.
I love how she'd rub that in. Oh, my AC's great. Yeah, shut up. It's 95 degrees and I'm sweating
living
balls
the
here.
life.
Yeah, yeah.
For you being up in you, I know it's been chillier here where I'm at. Has it gotten cold enough up there for you to want or need the heat, at least in the morning? And how well
Yeah,
does that
the
work?
other day, yesterday, the heat works really well too. I don't even know what day it is. Yesterday, Monday, it was like the high was like 49 and
Ooh,
it was pretty cold, but I run hot, so I really haven't used the heat all day. Um,
nope.
it
Like the
works well.
FFVs, the LLVs have that, and I think the FFVs also have that partition door to separate the cab from the back. Do you have that or no?
Yep,
Or is that open all the way
there is a
through?
door there. I haven't used it, but it's
Okay.
there to block off the back. They say that that can help with the dust too, but I haven't used it.
Yeah. I leave mine open. We're supposed to keep it closed because then it's secure in case someone breaks into the the cab part, they won't be able to get into the back because you need the key, at least with the LLBs, to open it to get it to
Oh,
open.
jeez.
But I don't
Okay.
know many carriers that
Out
do.
of the different vehicles that you've driven, Lynette, now that you have the NGDV under your belt, which one is your favorite one for delivering mail out of?
The new one, by far. I mean,
And your
I was
least favorite?
comfortable when I used my own vehicle. I was comfortable in the LLV, but the heat just, that's unbearable. The heat. Um, the NGDV is what wins for me. There's a couple little things that are bothersome, but not anything compared to that heat.
Right.
Yes, being in an LLV for so many years, I'm just used to having to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I started in 2003. I've been a regular. This coming May will be 12 years. So
Yeah,
I,
I started in October of '06, went regular in 15. So at what 10 years? It'll be 10 years next the end of the month that I've been a
then you go
regular.
high
So,
option.
huh?
Then you can go high
I will.
option.
Well, in the spring if I get that low, but I've been 48K since before Rex started. So,
Oh, any other
but if I
questions
keep
on the truck
tomorrow
or
night's
no?
numbers, oh, on the truck, no, I don't think I have
Yeah,
any.
no.
Ladies,
Oh, when they measured, so when you, I know like if you deliver out, because there's some, and I know there's not that many of them, but there are out there. There's some rural carriers that deliver all key box routes in ProMasters, and they've trained them, and the people that are in the ProMasters have to dismount through the side door. Is there anything? Well, you can't really get in the back. Is there like, do you have to like, you can just open that door,
What do you
slide out and
mean?
go? Like, if you ever have to get out, you can just go out the normal door. But you said you can't open
Yeah,
the back part unless the front's shut or whatever.
yeah. You could do it either way. You could stand up and that's the great thing too. You could stand up in it. You're not like hunched over. Um,
Yeah.
you could do it
Like
either
climbing
way. You
over and
just
like go.
make sure you could just stand up out of the seat and walk to the back and get it and go out the regular door, or go out the regular door, make sure you have the key fob thing, because it doesn't plug in to the truck. It's just a push button. Step out the door, shut the driver door, open the side door and go up the step, you know.
Yeah.
Can you open the side door from inside the truck? The cargo side door?
I never have the slide door to get out of the back.
Yeah, from on the side where you would normally you
Yeah,
get out the driver's door, close the driver's door, and then open that one. Are you able to open that one from the inside?
I haven't tried.
Okay, just a question. Because some may just be
Yeah,
like easier instead of closing the one, going out the other. Just grab the fob, put it in your
yeah,
pocket, and go out the side door if you're getting something from the back.
yeah. There is the mirrors. I haven't used this yet either, but they're supposed to have heaters to get the
The frost off.
frost or fog, whatever. You put there's a button
Yeah.
inside the truck to
You
heat
have
them up.
Oh, so you got heated mirrors.
wow.
You have heated
Yeah.
mirrors. You have AC, and you have 360-degree camera on the outside. Driving it is not so bad. Now, what was the biggest adjustment with going from an LLV to the NGDV when it comes to driving and the difference in size? How long did that take you to adjust to that?
It didn't take me long, maybe, and this is pushing it, maybe a week. But I mean, you got to take when you're in the parking lot, you do got to take it, pull out a little bit more before you start turning. You can't just turn like when you're parked in a row of them, or you're gonna sideswipe the one next to you. But
Yeah,
that's
The
happened
duck next
already.
to you.
But yeah.
one of the guys on
Um,
the team to train us was saying one of the S&DCs in Maryland, within the first 3 hours of having the vehicles, three of them backed into each other at the dock.
oh my God. There is a beeping noise too, like that tells you.
Yeah, that's why I asked you about the training, how in depth was the training on them, or they say, here you go.
The training for me was really good. Like they made me parallel park that thing. like back up between these little dinky things, and but maybe you know how it is. Maybe everyone didn't get great training. I
Right,
don't know.
right. No, the post office not do good training.
Not train
Don't
people?
believe it.
What?
I don't believe it.
Shocked Pikachu face.
I love the truck. I do. You get used to it quick.
Well, I've been saying
And
it
I
for a
hate
while.
the
There
thought.
you go.
I hate the thought of thinking about getting hit in one of those things. But I'm telling you, I feel like everybody has thought about it. When you're a carrier,
Oh yeah.
when you're in an LLV, if you ever get hit in an LLV, it is not going to be good. It's happened.
Well, what's really sad is I've been texting somebody that got hit today on the route.
Oh,
I'm like
jeez.
one of the in an LLV. They're okay, but yeah, you think about it. And where they got hit, I think about it every time I've delivered through there
All right.
because you just don't know.
So kind of going back a little bit to what you were talking about with the left-hand door with the LLV and where you store some packages or collection or whatever. I use that
Yeah,
for my extra trays of DPS. So I put
I've seen people do that too. Yeah.
Yep, I do that for my DPS and sometimes my pull down. I use half trays to pull down, so and that's if I have more than 2 or 3, depending on how heavy that day is and what I'm doing. I do DPS at the front of the tray. In the middle is my pull down, and then normally I put my small boxes on that side. Unless I have a box holder or WSS or something, then I put that there. And then my extra trays I put in that additional on that left hand door step there. But I do know, and this is coming from looking at the one that was at National Convention, the NGDV does not have any storage on that left side door, does it?
No, you're not going to have room. But I just put my extra trays in the back.
Plus, you've got
Um,
Yeah, and you have
dual,
the second tray.
yeah, the dual trays, yeah.
you had the second tray that you could put them under there, but I put I put 2 trays under there for my outgoing and then for my stuff that goes back to the office.
I have there's a quick question and listener comments here, a little off topic, but I think we're going to cover it real quick. The easy one. It says, I was told by management a local bid I was successful in is complete. My number one choice went to a senior bidder, but my second choice was that carrier's route. So that carrier has medical restrictions that they're in the process of
No,
on the job
no.
injury. So I'm told I cannot assume their route until they are medically cleared to assume the other route. Yes, that would be correct. I think, what is it? Is it 6 months they have to be able to be 100%?
Yes,
Yeah,
6 months.
it can be held in abeyance up to 6 months, and that it goes for either an on the job or even off the job medical restriction. You have to be 100% capacity within 6 months, and it can be held in abeyance up to. So, has anybody got anything else on vehicles?
No, I'm trying to think.
I mean, we could go all day on different ways of loading and
I
everything
know.
else, but POVs.
Yeah.
I first worked out of tubs. I'd have a tub I pulled down, crisscrossed into tubs when I first started. Had the tub sit in my lap and worked out of that. When I had got
Mm-hmm.
my LeSabre, I had to completely change up and do pull down into half trays. And set half tray on my right hand knee, my DPS in half trays in my Cutlass. I could put a whole tray of DPS in there. It's just because of the way I sat in the car, and so I could pull that, and now I still pull down in half trays even in my LLV because, well, I don't like. I know some people that pull in the DPS trays. To me, those are too flimsy when you're pulling a full tray. I don't like how
Yeah.
heavy they are in the hard plastic ones. I like the
Yep.
convenience and the easiness of half trays myself. My DPS, I
I
keep in the
used a lot of
DPS
the half
trays.
trays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I leave my DPS in the deep trays. When I was pregnant and I was trying to not lift as much, I did the half trays. But I actually pulled down into the deep trays, and then I actually put all my small parcels in the deep trays because in the Metris you can't. There's no room underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So I have all like my small parcels up on the tray with
Yeah,
me.
and I use the tubs for or whatever we call them tubs, but I use those
Yeah.
for my spurs, all my soft packages. Anything that's soft and somewhat can be compressed, I usually do that. So I put 3 underneath my tray, and then I have one that sits in front of the very front lengthwise, and that's the one I work out of. And then, my sub uses the deep trays, the EDDM trays for smalls. I don't put my small boxes in that stuff. I put my small boxes on the trays, so they're right there in front of me. I don't mark any of my parcels, so and I swear by the shelves in my LLV. I have to have at least one shelf, and it has to be on the left hand side of the vehicle. If I'm only going to have one shelf in there, I prefer the 2. I swear by my shelves, and it irritates me when I have to use a different vehicle that doesn't have shelves in it or only has one and it's on the wrong side for me because it just throws my whole mojo off. Because that's what we become accustomed to. You have the point is
Creatures of
whether
habit.
yeah, exactly. I mean, whether you're driving a POV, you're driving an FFV, an LLV, a Metris, or the new NGDVs, we all have our own way of what works for us, each individual carrier. So what works for me may not work for anybody else. Or, I've changed stuff up throughout the years. I'll have 11 years total in December. I'll have 2 years as a regular next month. I have changed things as I've gone through and evolved, and now I'm pretty solid in what I do because I've got the system that works for me. Now, if I end up with a different type of vehicle, the someday when I get an NGDV, I'm sure I'm going to change up again at first. Or if I somehow end up, God forbid, a Metris, and that no shade at you there because not everybody, some people love them. But again, if you're changing up a vehicle, even from one type of POV to another, even a newer model of the same type of vehicle you've been driving, sometimes you're going to have to change up because you're not going to be able to load it the way or work out of it the way you have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of finding what works for you in the vehicle that you're using. But so far, Lynette loves her NGDV. Again,
I do.
nothing's perfect, and yeah, you got all those sensors on there, and that goes beep beep at you and everything else. But as you all
Oh
know,
yeah, it's coming up to mailboxes a lot. You're getting a beeping because even grass is gonna make it go off. You know, um,
Yes.
Don't hit the
I've
press.
told it.
and
I've told it to shut up.
that's the
Grass.
one thing we forgot to do before I left New York was the drive by clipping the bush.
Yes, I know. Damn it.
We were gonna do that. We were gonna drive out there. One of us was gonna have the hedge trimmers in her hand and drive up and cut that bush down because nobody wanted to do it.
I have a weed whacker I was using today too. That's funny.
How
But-
is it with overhanging vegetation with the NGDVs, the lower tree limbs and whatnot? And have your customers been pretty good with you with adjusting with the vehicle?
I was very lucky when I had my route inspection done. The new postmaster that we have rode with me. I think I'm the only one in the whole building that he rode with, but I'm not sure of that. He did a very good route inspection. He actually fixed my my points to fix my where the
SPMs?
SPMs come up,
Mm-hmm.
where the SPMs come up. He from sitting in the back of the what did we do it? Yeah, it was the LLV, wasn't it? Yeah. And he sat in the back and he looked at all the boxes going through my whole route and wrote letters to them and had them fix or cut trees and everything.
Nice.
Now,
I
the one question none of us have asked, and I don't know if you have an answer to this because you haven't had to train somebody. Is there with the NGDVs? Is there a way to put a jump seat in there for training?
I was just about to ask that.
the only place I've seen the jump seat was in the front where the big tray is, which you wouldn't be able to take out. You know what I mean? Where when they were training us in Syracuse with the driver trainers, there was 2 full-size seats up front. One, in the spot where we use, and then one where the trays are.
Interesting.
But there's no anchor points in the back.
I'm not
Not,
sure. There
not that
may
you've
be
noticed.
under. Yeah.
So if anybody out there with an NGDV and you're listening and you know the answer to that one for sure, is it possible to train new RCAs in an NGDV?
I would think they did put
Oh,
something in there to be able to do that.
because I know
And
that
I
you
know they've
I don't.
been
go ahead.
they've been after that supervisor that died in the back of an
Mhm.
LLV. I know they're trying to like phase it out, but like I would feel like in the NGDV with the air conditioning and the fan in the back that it would be more plausible to do it
Mhm.
versus an old
I
LLV
can
in
check
the
tomorrow.
Yeah, let me know. I'm sure you will,
Yeah, I will.
or I'll remind you.
I will. Yeah.
you better
Remind me.
check. No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
You're all good. Metris does not. It has some weird anchors back there. And I've seen like one office like took some straps and jerry rigged a jump seat back there, and it did not look safe.
I know.
So
Josh, do they
I
have
personally would.
do they have that in the FFBs?
Yes, it
Okay.
uses the same jump seat as the LLB.
All right. I was curious
Yeah,
about
just
that.
anchors in. Yeah,
So yeah, yeah.
I'm glad you like your mattress. I I do not like the mattress. Just
yeah. Most
how
people don't. Most people don't
crunched
like
it
them.
is
It's
in the
like with any
front.
of the vehicles. You either love them or you hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't
I would.
driven the FFV or the Metris that's in our office, so I can't compare. I've only driven the LLVs and several different POVs. But yeah, yeah, it's
yeah.
either you love
And,
them or you hate them.
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
and the
I
only
was
I've only met like one person that likes them like I do. I guess.
you know what? A couple people I know that like them are all vertically challenged.
Hey, the person that
Because
I'm talking about is in this chat right now, and they are not vertically challenged. So I am 5'4", and I do love my Metris.
like I
Hey,
said,
Mhm.
because one of the women that has a mattress that at my station, she loves. She's like, yeah, and I can stand up back here. She says, you be hunched over like no end, but
You would. I will
I just
say
feel
that
scrunched in
like
the front.
of your NGDV. See, does your
no, the
No,
back
the
mattress.
feel
mattress.
better? Oh yeah. Does your back feel better in the NGDV? Because you're not hunched,
Yeah,
like you're
you can.
not having to go to the back like that. They used to tell us like in the driver training, like don't reach your left arm back and like go through that door because you're gonna like tear your rotator cuff, like
Mhm.
reaching, or you're gonna hurt your back with that. But if
Yeah.
it seems easier.
The
And then the
seat.
tray coming closer to you.
Yeah, both trays will come closer to you. There's two adjustment things on the seat too. It tips. I mean, you can make it however is comfortable, but it is. I like the seat too. Um,
Did you
you
say it's
can.
got lumbar
It has
support
tilt,
in there
and
too?
then yeah, yeah.
Nice. The
Hmm.
Metris does. My Metris does. I know not all of them do, but mine has it, and I love it.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to getting one of those since I first heard about it. I saw them in Orlando in
2022.
what was that? 20. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's yeah. So some of us will never see one in this decade,
you might.
but
You shouldn't say never.
Yeah.
I said this decade.
It'll be in the Postal Museum
Yeah.
too, next to the non-driven LOV in there.
Which I just laughed when I saw that picture, and I was like, dude, we've got one in our fleet that's only 3002 off the line
That's
after that.
nuts. Yeah,
yeah.
there's some of those
I
LOVs are as old as I am, or they're old, and like there might be the year I was born, and I'm just like, oh my god, like. Yeah. I'm sorry,
You
y'all.
might.
I know you're
You
all
might be
older
the
than me.
youngest one in here.
I know. That's. I was like, oh, yep. Sorry, y'all.
And the sad thing is I'm the second youngest one in here.
Well, let's see. They're what 80. LLVs were 87 to 94, right?
Yes.
Yes. I used to drive one that was on my secondary that was from 1989, and the wiring harness caught on fire in it and smoked out the whole front of my vehicle on like the first Monday of the new year on a business route day after holiday.
We have an
It was, yeah.
We have an 87 in our fleet. That's the ox truck. Mine is a 93. Route 2s that I'm currently driving is a 93. We have an 88 and a 91,
Oh,
a 90, and I think the other one is a 93 as well.
well, the one that I had that disappeared on me a few years back was a 431, which is 94.
Mm-hmm.
The one that stalls out after 4 hours is a 431 also. So, oh, we discussed about mentioning that all disputes are due by this Friday, the 24th.
Yes, that was
So
one
you
thing
need to
that
get
we
them.
were going to mention on Sunday, and well, Sunday didn't happen. So, yes, Friday the 24th, your disputes need to be filed by the 24th.
Now, I'm just telling you what my DR has told us at our booster this weekend,
Yes.
that working with labor, as long as it's postmarked by, he will still be able to hear them. If you wait until next week to send it, it's not happening. They will probably not start working on them until at least here the week after. He said probably the week of the 3rd is when he's going to actually start sitting down and with labor
Yeah,
to
I got
discuss
mine
them.
in before we left for Italy, and so I did get a copy of it back, letting me know that she did send it up already. So that was waiting for me when I got back. But
Okay.
yeah, disputes, guys. If you have a viable dispute, which we've covered in previous episodes, those are due by the 24th, no later. And it says right on the new on this mini mail survey's dispute form, which is found on the NRLCA website, and it says right on it due by October 24th, which is Friday, and it's payday, and yay! Oh,
And I believe it
also,
actually does say that they are allowed to be electronically sent.
also. On the NRLCA website, under the What's New, if you scroll down, I don't remember the exact date. I saw it before we left to go to Italy. For those of us that are Table 2 carriers, and we were curious on when the 50 weeks between step increases took effect, that went into effect at the beginning of the new guarantee period on 10/4. Those pay charts reflecting the 50 weeks are available. It's under the What's New on the NRLCA website. If you go under the member research or the department, or excuse me, director, the labor relations site, and look up like you normally would tab for your pay chart, it won't be on there. It's under the What's New tab.
And you also, if you're on table 2, well, everybody, all the regulars got a new Form 50 at the beginning of the guarantee year, but table 2 people got 2 Form 50s. One of them is indicating the 50-week change for each step and the new RX evaluations. So
I've only gotten
if
one
you're
so
confused
far.
why you got,
Yeah.
oh, I got
But
2.
I was actually thinking, well, I won't fall in that 180 days, but actually I do. So I get my step increase in a couple weeks, and then the new general wage increase, the 1.4%, comes out November 22nd. So yeah, I get 2 increases coming up next month. Woohoo! I thought they were going to be on one check, but not
Woohoo!
anymore because the 50 weeks went into effect. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking I wasn't gonna get it this time around, but they got it going beginning of the guarantee period, would actually make sense. So they gave them up to 180 days. They were able to do it in under 180 days, beginning of the new guarantee.
Woohoo!
Yep, and like I said, those pay charts are available, but you got to go under the What's New tab on the website and find it. I don't remember the date. Again, it was towards the end of September. I don't have it up, and I saw it briefly before we left to run off to Italy. And yeah, I'll talk more about Italy next time because it's going late, and yeah, we wanted to get this done. So, guys,
wow.
Heck yeah.
yeah. So, words of advice, though, especially with this social media stuff, rumors. Don't rely on Google AI for information. You know how many AI things I see copied and pasted as replies? No, guys. A lot of the stuff that you have questions on, either one, reach out to your steward or your ADR or your DR for clarification. Go to the website. If you're a dues paying member, get on that website. There is so much information there. And a lot of your questions, yeah, I know it can be kind of hard to navigate when if you're not used to it. Sometimes you just got to take that time and dive and figure out how the website works. The app is wonderful in that, especially going for the steward reference guide. You just hit that SRG on the bottom, bam, it's right there. You hit the letter that something you're looking for. Again, sometimes it's not always there, and you got to go look under something else. Trust me.
Yeah,
Some of
that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I just went like 4 different letters looking for that question that's there.
Yeah.
But abeyance isn't on there. It's not under abeyance. It's under bidding.
Yes.
So
yep. Yeah. Some things you would think under one thing and they're not. They're under something else. So yes, that can be a little nerve-wracking at times when you're trying to find something quick. Either that or, if you know somebody that knows it a little better than you do, you can always ask them, hey, where is this? But again, that's what your stewards are there for, your ADRs, your DRs. Give them a phone call, shoot them an email. They prefer phone calls or email, not necessarily text, because, well, texting is technically not a form of communication acceptable, and which we all know, and there is documentation on that, especially when it comes to management texting us and texting us on our phones and texting us on the scanners and calling us on our phones. You can't fight that. There is documentation from that. And that goes all the way back to like 10 years ago. So, on that note, guys, POVs, I mean, I miss driving a POV at times. I miss the comfort of my own vehicle at times. I definitely don't miss the repairs, the money. I got an LLV. I'll deal with it until I eventually get something new. And we're a small office in northern Michigan. I don't expect to see it anytime soon. We've got, I want to thank Lynette for coming on and kind of giving us her little rundown and her pros and cons
seriously.
of the NGDV, because there's not a ton of them out there just yet. They're going to the SNDCs mainly first, and she's lucky enough to have gotten one back in July and has been driving it for 3 months. So after the winter time, we might have to have you come back and tell us how it does in the winter.
Yeah, seriously.
And they are standard.
Depending on the timeline, I might be able to.
Yeah. Standard issue is front wheel drive. They do have some all wheel drive ones out there. Where they're going, I don't know. But that is the biggest difference as well from an FFV and an LLV and the Metris is those are all rear wheel drive and the NGDVs are front wheel drive.
Another thing is they showed us that all the ones we got are gasoline vehicles, but they do have a spot in the back to convert them to electric. If they ever wanted to.
Yeah. I think that was part of the original contract, is that they could retrofit them.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. So we're gonna
seriously though. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lynette.
So we're gonna go ahead and wind this down. And final thoughts, Josh?
Excuse me. I know it's been a little warm in some places still, so keep hydrating, even if it's cold. Keep hydrating. We're getting into that season. So just get ready to hug and kiss your loved ones and tell them you'll see them after New Year's. We're not quite there, but we're getting close. Don't get stressed. Don't get overwhelmed. If you do, take a step back, take a deep breath, and step back in. Have a good week, and we'll catch you next time. Meow.
Well, thank you guys. Seriously, thank you, Lynette, because that's, like it's such a new thing that I know that there's a lot of people who have a lot of questions about it. So it was very much appreciated. I'm glad that you guys also had a fun trip in Italy.
We did,
and it's been nice talking with and it's been nice chatting with everybody about postal stuff. I know we all ramble and whatnot, but it's still fun to vent and figure out because we all do things differently.
We do.
and it's similar, but a little different, you know. So, just the other thing I was gonna say too, fact check your sources of information. Because I mean that Kristen already said it too. You would think you can just Google it and Google AI will know the answer, but it does not always know the answer either.
No.
So
It
double
it
check
knows
it on
the
the
answer
Eden
after it makes
website.
it up.
Yeah, and then somebody else posted like some Chat GBT answer in there too, and I was like, "What? Like this is not right." So just fact check your stuff. Don't believe everything in Don't read them comments. That's what my brother tells me. That he's like, "Don't read the comments, Courtney. Don't read them. It'll be fine."
That's where
Um,
you pop the
but
popcorn before you go reading the comments. 'Cause it
yeah,
gets
then you can
entertaining.
really just sit there with it. Yeah. So, get those disputes in. And if you're having issues with that, please like call your steward. Because the manager should be meeting with you. I know we're kind of in that crunch time now of panic, but get them in if you need them. So, yeah, and I had something else I can't remember because my brain's broken. But stay safe, everybody, and have a good week. All right, Lynette,
Nope, she already left us for tonight.
she pieced out.
She
All
did.
right,
She
then
did.
Kristen.
Yep, it's me. So yeah, guys. I mean, we wanted to get out there, and we have discussed with bringing her on in the past for the NGDVs. So I get there's a lot of right hand drive POVs out there. Kudos to you. I personally never drove a right hand drive. I never did a conversion. The only experience I have was putting the pedals and taking them out of Ruby's vehicle. I never even drove it with the pedals in there. So that I am the last person about that. But if you need a set of pedals, let me know because I have some sitting in my garage that are like brand new. So, anyways, I'm not gonna use them anytime soon. So, but yeah, no, I think because there's so many different vehicles that we do have available now that are out. Not gonna say not that we do have available because we all know that a lot of them are going to get crunched, but there is a lot out in our.
LOV graveyard.
Yes, I mean, I just in my small office alone of 6 rural routes, an aux route, and 3 city routes, we have an FFE loaner, we have a Metris on the city route, and the rest are LLVs, and 1 POV route. And I'm not including the highway contract because, well, they're technically not under our umbrella. So I do have a highway contract route in my office as well. But so yeah, so you see offices like that have one of everything at the moment. And now with the NGDVs rolling out with primarily the SNDCs first, you're going to start seeing them. That was really really fun for me to actually when Lynette and I were driving from her house. And of course, as we are mail carriers, and she's pointing out, "Oh, this used to be part of my route. Oh, no, this is part of my route." And, it's Sunday as we're heading out to New York City. It's a 4-hour drive from her house to go to JFK, and we passed the Amazon Sunday delivery person driving an NGDV. So I had to take a picture. I was like, "Ooh, Duckmobile in the wild."
It's great.
I know, right? And of course, I'm sitting there in the passenger seat in the car with her, and she's pointing out, like we do with our friends and family when we're driving parts of our route, going, "Oh, blah blah blah," and I'm like, now I know how my kids feel when I do this to them in the car. It was really cool because that's an area I've never seen before. So it's
Yeah.
And oh yeah, when we were in Italy, real quick before I sign off. Because they different, and I've seen posts. We've had a lot of carriers going to Italy this year. I saw, another one that had a picture of one of the small offices outside of the Vatican. I didn't see one in Rome personally, but when we were in Naples and our walk one day through Naples was the big main office in Naples, and it was huge. And then I did see a smaller one the next night when we were walking around that was closed. But I did see a Italian mail carrier walking with the satchel, but then I noticed his vehicle was a Vespa. So there are carriers in Italy that use mopeds for delivering the mail, and he had a lockbox on the back of it that had the post insignia on it, and I was like, huh, I should have took a picture, but we were walking, and our minds we're trying to figure out where the hell we were going. We got Google Maps up on one phone while we're all trying to figure out where the hell we're at. So, but yeah, that was really cool. I was like, oh, that was the mail carrier. She's like, huh? She goes, I saw him putting something in boxes, but I'm like, really? You didn't pay attention to the fact that he had a satchel on and the Italian post outfit, and then I see the Vespa, and I'm like, oh, he's delivering mail from a moped. Okay. So yeah, little differences, but it was still pretty cool. But on that note, guys, yes, we are coming into holiday season is quickly coming upon us. I know I got that talking to last night. It seems like it's going to get later and later. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to remind the other half that, yes, I didn't get home till 6 o'clock tonight for the sheer fact that I've been gone for 2 weeks and had to play cleanup today. And it was Monday. And the 45 minutes end of shift from playing cleanup. Yes. I said, holiday season is quickly coming upon us. It's going to get later and later. And, I'll see you come New Year, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up working most of my K days between now and Christmas anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to set my Christmas tree up early.
We have 2 subs in the office, so yeah, that's what's going to happen. So I already have that feeling. But on that note, guys, remember, always stay hydrated regardless of the time of year. Hydration is important. I'm going to push that. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Lynette is calling me right now, but I'll call her back when I'm done. And but stay safe out there. Stay vigilant. Get your disputes in by Friday, the 24th. And we should be back normal day and time coming up. Am I right, guys? Nothing going on this weekend with anybody?
Yes.
All right. Sunday
I don't
night
think so.
recording. Monday, y'all can listen to us. So, but at least we got something out for you this week, so you didn't have to wait yet another week. And we talked about the vehicles. And please, fact check the social media stuff. I mean, social media can be great for bringing people together, tossing ideas out, getting directions on where to look for stuff, but don't rely on it on your information. If you are a dues-paying member, please go to the NRLCA site. Plenty of information, tons of information there. I haven't even looked at all the information on there, and I am on there almost every day for one thing or another. There are other avenues. If you do not have access to the website to get that information, you can always reach out to your designated stewards, whether it's a local area, ADR, your DR. They should be valuable resources for you as well. If they are not, well, we're not going to talk about that right now. We're not going to get into that, because that's for another episode down the road. I do know we are going to try and put together something about the history of the NRLCA. That will probably be a multi-episode series, and we are going to do that after the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's a project between me and Meow that we really want to try and do, because I think that's going to bring a lot of understanding to especially some of the newer people, and where our association started, and how it got to where it is now, and that type of stuff. And there's some really fun, cool stuff in there. And so we're going to do that. That'll be, again, after the holidays, because we all know it's coming upon us. We've already had Columbus Day. We all know that's the unofficial kickoff. And for now, it's all uphill until Christmas. So, but yeah, guys, stay safe, stay vigilant, stay hydrated, stay warm. If it's starting to get colder where you're at, stay cool. If it's still hot where you're at, some of us in the Midwest, we never know. It could be 80 degrees one day and 40 the next. That's just how it is. We've been getting rain here finally, but it's cooled off. I actually ran the heat in the LOV today a couple different times. So you got to do what works best for you. If anybody has any questions or ideas, because maybe you're newer or you've got a system that just isn't working out for you, feel free to ask. You can ask your casemate. You can email us. You can DM us individually. I still have the private messages turned off on the Facebook side of stuff for the podcast, just because that's a whole lot for one person to handle right now. So emailing, usually if I get an email, I'll take a screenshot, post it to the other host, say, hey guys, and I try to get back to you. If I don't get back to you or we don't address it on a future episode, I do apologize. Life can get crazy for everybody. So I know we try. We're
Just reach out to us.
human. We're not perfect.
Just reach out to us again if we
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Say,
hit
hey,
me
I
up
sent you a message. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, please follow up. Again, like I said, we're human. Life happens. We all have jobs, families, vacations. Yeah, I still wish I was on right now. But yeah. Football season's underway. I saw one of the best high school games I've seen in a long time on Friday when I went to go watch my daughter for marching band. A happy 15th birthday to my youngest daughter today. Ruby turned 19 on Sunday.
Wow.
I know. My youngest grandson's now a month old. Yeah, things have been busy for me. So,
Life stuff, yeah.
I know. So, guys, take it easy, and we'll be back regularly scheduled time for next week. And till then, do what you got to do and make it work for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I don't know. I'm tired. Have a good night,
All right,
everybody.
bye.